Hey guys, it's me Shuripivy, and today I'm going to be explaining to you how I went from bronze all the way to gold in just a few weeks. Now this video will be more in depth than my other ones because I really want to help out people who are still stuck below bronze and silver, well below gold I guess, because it's very hard to climb out, I will say, because mainly because of like how it's the team play, I guess you could say. It's not always about accuracy and basic things like people think. I mean, accuracy comes not just with Overwatch but with other FPS games. It really depends on how experienced you are and how you can improve. Also depends on what character, because Reinhardt doesn't require much accuracy unless he's fire striking, for example, and Hanzo requires lots of accuracy because all of his abilities, everything in his kit requires accuracy. But it's not just that sort of thing either. I think it's mainly based around game mentality and positioning and team comps. Like a lot of people do is just install DPS, and I find that not exactly ideal, because I'm gonna say this straight out, and this is completely true. You will not win without at least one healer. Now that is completely true, because you do not know how important healers are, right? You've got a soldier, right? He can heal himself. He's not a healer. He can put down battlefield. That does not pass as a healer. The healer categories are right at the end, which has all the healers in the game, and I guess Symmetra's not really a healer. But yeah, that's your four healers: Lucio, Zen, Ana, and Mercy. Now, if you do not have one of those, you are really, really well, let's just say you've basically lost if you don't have one, because it just makes your team so disorganized. If you can self heal, great. That's why I play Roadhog. I have so much time as Roadhog. I love everything about him really, even after his nerf. But it's just without a healer, you're dead, because a healer can just, well, think about how powerful they are. Mercy can resurrect you, Lucio can give you a huge shield, and Zen can make you invulnerable for 5 seconds, and they're just the ultimates. They all heal at different rates. Like Lucio can heal more than one person at a time, which is absolutely great. And this leads on to my point about team comps. Now with team composition, you definitely need to be very, like, I guess, aware of what your team, how your team plays. Like with the new feature they added, you can now see what how much experience other people have, and I know it's always good to play who you're good at, but you've got to learn to flex in some areas, I would say. Like this is something I haven't been doing, unfortunately, but I main Roadhog 100%. I have 32 hours as him across all modes or something ridiculous like that, which is more than any other person. It's double Tracer, quadruple main, Genji's time or something, because Roadhog is just one character that clicks for me. And I feel like, yes, you can flex, you do really well, but I think with at least, well, with all players, there'll always be someone that just clicks with you. Like Roadhog, he just, I mean, if he didn't click, I wouldn't have gone to bronze to gold in, what, a matter of a few weeks, and I solo queued quite a lot of those games as well. That's another point about who you play with, but I'll cover that on later in the video. So now I want to talk to you about team comps, like I mentioned as I started mentioning. So this is the many ways to do a team comp. Like, it really depends on what your players can do and like their potential. So there is this thing called the meta, which is like what the pros use, I guess, to play. Now at the moment, don't quote me on this, but I think it is 2 supports, well, 2 healers, 1 tank, and 3 DPS. Now this will probably give you a high chance of winning, but this doesn't mean you have to go rushing and learn characters. But what I will say is you need to learn to flex in some cases. This what I recommend is that you know how to play someone from each class. So DPS, attack or defense, and a healer and a tank. So tank sword for me. I want to try and maybe learn Mercy because she doesn't seem that too difficult. And for DPS, I can sort of play Mei, but I can maybe develop my skills as Mei. Now, what this does is ensures that your team, I guess, have more opportunities to play. Like recently there's this thing called dive comp, which means a very dive heavy team, like they rush into the point, like Winston, D.Va, Genji, fast paced characters, I guess. Now of course you don't have to play like this, but it's recommended that you can play some sort of, like, you can stretch your abilities in some places, because I mean I totally recommend just playing as much, like as you can see in the clips here. I literally only play a Roadhog, and this is my first time playing Orisa because I feel like she'll help out the team. And I have very little experience as Orisa. In fact, I've never played her in competitive, but I feel confident because I develop her skills in quick play and competitive. No, just quick play, sorry. And that made me more confident to play him, and we did end up winning this match. Now, what I'm going to move on to now is how to necessarily play, well, as in, would you like to play on your own, would you like to duo queue, that sort of thing. Now, Overwatch is very open, because you can just play by yourself and hope you get a good team, or you can go up to 6 people and all queue together. Now, what I will say about 6 stacking though is it's really good for in terms of content and gameplay. You probably will win quite a lot of games if you're all focused and communicate well, but I definitely not recommend doing it in a higher tier, like Diamond. Of course, we're talking about lower tiers, but just for extra information. Like, I definitely recommend not trying to maybe always just go in for maybe as a 6 stack, just be overly confident, because there's only so much one person can do. Solo queue was great for having like I guess a more freedom, because you never know what your team will go, where you could be pleasantly surprised. But then again, there's levers, where in the 6 stack you know that you'll probably have plans, so you know that one of them won't leave. Duo queuing I find helped a lot. In my placements, I won 7 and lost 3, and somehow I ranked in bronze, even though I finished at mid-silver last season, which I found kind of ridiculous. But I went loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, 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 or something ridiculous. And that's because I duo queued the last ones. And with a duo queue, you've got a partner who can really help you out, but also help out the team. So maybe like the Pharmercy duo is very, very effective recently. So maybe Pharah Mercy would be quite good if you got a DPS player, and then you can learn a healer. So it's really quite open to what you want to do. Just I recommend whatever you feel best at, really. Now what I want to move on to next is voice comms. Now these are very, very important for, I'd say, not necessarily on like how you're playing, but to stay in contact with the team is very important. Like you can I guess notify them of a flank. If you're playing quite a free open character, you can notify your team that there's being a push, and then they can maybe save the point in time. It's little things like that, but that actually help out the game a lot, you don't realise. Another thing is always keep the voice chat positive. Being negative will just make other people negative. It spreads, just like happiness, you know? If you tell someone they're playing great, they smile and they do well, because you're saying them, what you're doing right now is great, so just carry on like that. But if you say, oh, you suck, you need to switch, that doesn't make them, I guess, that makes them less confident and less likely to play well, because you're just giving this all this negativity. I mean, it's kind of quite mean, actually. And there's no point at the end of the game just going, oh, I could have won that if I rezzed you all, but like, it's happened now. There's no point, because if you really lose that much and you're so content on getting back to where you were, you will do it. Because I was really, really annoyed when I got bronze, and I was like, I'm not having any of this, I'm going straight to gold, mate. So that's exactly what I did. And it does take a bit of time, because not all teams are as cooperative, but eventually you will do well, and you'll hopefully rank up. It's not one of these things that goes straight away, but it's more something that takes time, concentration, skill, and it's not necessarily. It can be hard or easy, I don't know. But another thing I'd like to say in voice chat is definitely, like, I guess it's you're not here to like talk too much either. Like if you're just gonna blabber into the mic, there's really no point because you're just distracting people. I mean, obviously give call-outs, and then if you think the team's really amazing, stay as a team. It's kind of simple things like that. If you look at it, Overwatch has got quite simple ways to play at the end of the day, but it's just how you play, if you get me. Sort of. Another thing I want to mention is kind of switching heroes, because if you feel like you're not doing well as a character, or if you just are not doing well, like everyone on your team could admit it, then you should probably switch because it's not helping out the team. But if you're doing really well as one character and then you switch, there is really no point, because I mean if you're doing well, surely you should just stay as your character. You're winning the point. You don't need to switch characters because you're doing fine where you are. And this is one of the things that I guess people feel like they need to do. They switch too often, and it's just they get really stressed. Like, oh, who do I play? Who do I play? But it's really nothing to worry about as long as you've got one healer. Like I said it's fine. And now I just want to go on to maybe a bit of talk about what the main difference is between bronze, silver, and gold. Obviously the gameplay gets better, the amount of people gets better, I mean, the skill, the team comps get better and better, but it's really basic things like positioning I'd like to cover. Like on Hanamura, it's good to sometimes get a high ground. If there's if you break the team fight, there's you've got a better chance of hitting people, and they've got a worse chance of hitting you. It's really just random things like that that really can help. I mean, there are some characters like the old Roadhog. Unfortunately, he's gone now. But you can. It doesn't necessarily always matter about positioning because you're such a powerful character that can survive on your own. So it's little things to be taken into consideration. Also, know which heroes work on each maps, I would probably say, and it's more to do with just game mentality. Don't always go into a game like, oh, I'm gonna lose, because that's just really negative. I mean, maybe you will lose if you think like that, because it's not gonna help you out. Now, admittingly, I have dropped below 2000, but then I climbed back up again because I had the right mentality. And this is the thing with comp, guys. It's very much to do with your team. I'm not saying go ahead and blame every single loss on your team, because that's bad, but I'm trying to say, like, take each loss as a lesson and don't always necessarily blame it on your team, because you might have been doing really terrible, and it's really not that hard when you think about it. Like, sometimes a lot of people do, they just look at their old gameplay and improve on it. They view it, and like I record some of my games, and because that I feel like it helps me. One of the other things I'd like to talk about is online coaching. Now, there are a bunch of YouTube series on this, like a YouTuber called Unit Lost. He does a over-analyze series where he looks at people's clips all across the tiers of SR, and he, analyzes them. He looks at what's bad and what's good, and tells them how they can improve, but like constructively. A website that I would recommend is Overpro. It's a great website run by Grandmasters and Top 500s who make videos on each guide to play heroes. So if you either want to learn a new hero, just tips and tricks for one that you're really good at already, Overpro's your place. It's really diverse in, I guess, the courses it gives you, because there's something new for each hero really, because Overwatch is one of those games where there's so much creativity and a variety maybe in heroes, I'd probably say. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you want me to do another video on this, because this has just been my story, it hasn't looked in depth at each tip really, but yeah, if you want me to cover on something like why you should flex, not main, which I definitely do not do, or whether it's better, what's better for you, or yeah, just comment anything, because I'd love to hear feedback. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.